GSL Season 2.
GSL Season 2. Gross. Welcome back, everybody. Guys, if you're watching this stream, you're probably sad that Clem died because you probably wanted to see a foreigner do well. Well, maybe the casters will do okay, but right now the players, foreign players are dead. It's another season, man.
We will have foreign casters in the finals of GSL.
That's
we can
right.
promise you that.
It's crazy. I don't know what it is about this tournament. I was telling State on the break, I'm like, if you told me, like, okay, Tasteless, I'm from the future. Cyril's won the world champ, the world championships. This was a long time ago. Rainer won Gamers 8. Clem won EWC. How many times have those guys won GSL? I'd be like, oh, 6 times, right? No, not even once.
It's never happened.
It's never happened. It's crazy to me. And these guys, they win the biggest events in the world. But not this one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it is the prep because,
yeah,
you know, people always say that, and I know to some degree it's true, but it's not like folks like Clem, for instance, or Rain, or any of the guys who are incapable of prep. I guarantee you they prep for their matches.
Yeah.
But there's just something about the GSL. It just never has been able to click for anybody.
Yeah, I guess I just gotta say I can't believe it's still going on. You know what I mean? Like, we're, what, 17 years into StarCraft 2? And it's like, I just thought, you know, I've been here the whole time, by the way. I thought we would have not even like a whole year, just like a season. Maybe it'll never come. I don't know.
You're going to have to
when it happens, I'll be here. I'll be here for it. That much is for sure.
You have to take out the mantle yourself, Tasteless. We need Tasteless and GSL Codex.
That's right. You need me both playing and casting myself. I'm like, this is where my army destroys his stuff. There's too much.
It's like one of those moments.
Sad.
It's like one of those moments where you cast it and like actually it doesn't happen. There's DTs or something. You're losing.
I'm losing all my feeling. All of my workers are being killed by Ravager shots. This is bad.
That would be fun if we had like a caster tournament and everybody has to cast the game from their perspective.
That would be hilarious.
That would be some tomfoolery, man.
That would be pretty fun.
Because streaming and commentating your play is very different from trying to cast a game.
No, trying to be like a caster, like you're trying to hype it, you're trying to tell a story, but you're also actually like playing and trying to not miss pylons and stuff. Artosis
has proven that streaming and commentating your game is very different from
it's
casting.
Very different. He's a very different person. Okay. So we, once again, like we are going to have in every game, a probe sent across the map here. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Classic looking for proxies, actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
I wonder why. I guess you have to mix it up, right?
Yeah, it is interesting to do this, though. I feel like if you're going to look for proxies, it might just be better to check the main base of Terran first to see if there even are proxies to look for. But perhaps Classic is going to be proxying something with this of his own, because in that case, it makes sense. You make sure the SCV does not spot your probe going for some kind of pylon somewhere on the map. And Curry's going to be going for an engineering bay lock here, the natural expansion. Classic will spot this immediately, and Classic can choose either to take the third base as his first expansion, or to instead pull probes and try and deal with the engineering bay. And he's just going to opt to take the third. By the way, I love Classic pulling down a second probe from the main base just in case Kira canceled the engineering bay a little bit too early, so that he can still retake the Nexus there at the natural expansion. It almost reminds me of watching Dark juke probes in ZBP to make sure that he always gets the hatchery down at the natural. Nice little maneuver there by Classic.
So a lot of times when you force the second Nexus to be where the third base is, you would, well, maybe not in this game, but in a lot of those games, it's set up for like some kind of harass. Like, you know, Reaper or Hellion, although I don't see any Reapers this game here, but sometimes you can end up getting in an angle that's a lot harder to get there.
Yeah, it's usually some kind of early harassment that either targets the second expansion or the main base, or it's a dedicated push like a siege tank push. And Cure's already been leveling the competition with siege tank pushes. He did a siege tank push in every single game earlier on versus Clem. And was able to win 2 out of the 3. That's why he's all the way here in the final match. So let's see if let's see if Cure, excuse me, a lot of C's today. Cure, Classic, and Clem. Let's see if Cure is going to go for something like a siege tank push here, now that he's been able to force Classic to take the most exposed possible second expansion.
Now I want to do a check. What does Classic see up in the main with that?
I think he can see
the
add-on.
CC, right?
Yeah, I can see the CC, and I believe he can see the add-on. I don't think he can see the factory. If I were to guess. Oh, he did see the factory.
So he sees everything.
He did see the factory, yeah.
So I want to point this out because we were talking about this earlier. Like, it just seems like people should be a little bit better at hiding this. Just keep them guessing. I don't know. We saw Clem do it. Just want to put that out there. So Medevac, Cyclone, third base about to land. Now I imagine we're going to see more barracks come down. Actually, let me think here. So Cure did factory and then 3 racks with like no medevac push, right? Is that what he did?
Yeah, I think that was game 1. This time it's not that. He does have the starport. So if extra barracks are added in for Cure, it's going to be in just a little bit because he needs to spend basically all of the minerals right now on pumping units with the production setup that he's already got. By the way, medevac is boosting across the map right now to try and join these forces here on the front lines. Shield battery is here for Classic. But I wonder how much damage Cure can actually get down. Oh, great first volley there by Classic, already bringing the Cyclone down to half HP. I think that takes a lot of the wind out of the sails for this initial move out.
Yeah, no SCVs to repair here. 1 tank. Does this feel like it was a bit premature? I feel like he maybe should have waited for the tank at least. Maybe the idea is he wanted to kind of thin that out. So we have everything rallying out here. And Protoss is going to take a third base. Now, it looks like the Stalkers are going to walk right into this.
Yeah, the first siege tank volley, though, doesn't do very much. It just removes the shields from these Stalkers. So this is something that Classic can afford. But once the second siege tank joins the fray...
He's got the SCVs?
Yeah, there is one in the medevac right now. The damage is going to start really building up. It's still just Stalkers here for Classic, 9 in total, 1 more warping in. There is an Immortal also in production, and Classic, half those Stalkers are all the way across the map. He's going to be intercepting reinforcements with this now, but there are certainly not enough units for Classic to prevent Cure from really just sieging on top of this Nexus.
Yeah, I don't know that this can be saved. The Stalkers are going to be coming up here from behind. The Marines are going to end up spotting this. You're going to have a much better position to try to fight from. The tanks are deep in the middle. It's kind of hard. There's no angle where it's like going to be easy to come in here and hit him. But he's going to go for the dive. Is it enough, though?
I think it might be. The Immortal was able to power through and take down those siege tanks. Marines now getting to work on the Stalkers. Now, with the range of the Stalkers, even though they're going to be very badly bruised, Classic should be able to clean this up without sustaining too many more losses. And so Cure's just going to pivot down and try and take down Probe. I think this is a very smart move coming in here by Cure because behind this, he can load up and go for 1 more push.
Yeah, and this next push could be pretty strong. Problem is he only killed a little bit of workers there. And, with what Protoss has, you're fine, like, basically trading everything to kill that because you got your third base up, they're continuing to attack. The tank count, of course, is reset. Now, he might want to come in here and do a blink into the main.
Is there something to spot into the main
I think
base?
there's an observer.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah, that's it. Now, Cure's totally ready for this. By the way, Stim started. Now, you could, in theory, I think, blink in there and kill Stim. He doesn't know what's in what, so he's going to deny combat shields. Which is great, too. Stim is better.
Bit of an expensive trade there for Classic, though. I think that he thought he was just out of range of that siege tank, but didn't quite eyeball it correctly, so many of those Stalkers getting picked off.
It's a funny fight over there.
It's always funny whenever Vikings die in mid-transformation to something like probes in a single Stalker.
Well, nothing takes longer than the Viking transformation. You can see Blizzard was a little bit worried about that when they were designing it. They're like, don't worry, it's going to be really slow. In fact, it's going to be so slow, it's the slowest thing ever. So the scan over here. And, you know, there is a third command center, so it's not like the game end is inevitable. But the push is really important. Like, you really need to make something happen here with the next push or two here. Because Classic's going into the fourth base here. He's going to fly up in here with this. Now, he could drop right on the tank and then blink in and get stim.
Yeah, SCVs need to get pulled for repair on this, actually. No, Siege Tank just gets taken out.
No blink in? Where are those stalkers? Huh. Okay, I guess not. Whatever. I felt like that opportunity was there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You blink in, you hit the same tech lab you hit in on the first blink.
I thought that was why you send that in to begin with.
Right.
With the Zealots was to get rid of the tank and then make it so that you could actually do that. So it's going to be 4 bases now. Terran is going to get a third. It hasn't landed yet. Oh! Nice. Takes that out. Things looking better and better here for Classic.
Yeah, Classic taking a 4th base, adding in the Templar Archives, I think mostly for Archons with the setup that he's got. Just 4 gases in total, so it's hard to afford Storm. But Protoss is really in a good position right now with these 4 bases. Even though the word counts are even, the saturation is going to be optimal here for Classic on minerals. And the moment that 4th base gets fully saturated, the mineral income is just going to spike through the roof right here for Classic.
Oh, what? Okay, he's going to blink out, so he should be fine there. This is funny. He's going to just drop the Colossus here. I mean, why not? You can actually kill a bunch of workers if you're given enough time. Just has to pick this up and get back out. Beautifully done.
Some nice damage there for Classic. And Kira's taking a 4th expansion. Classic re-expanding here into the center of the top right map. I think that the window for Kira to try and end the game with a push has started to close unless Classic somehow stumbles into a horrible engagement. And so Kira right now just going to try and safely take 3 or 4 bases. And that should be enough income for at least the next couple of minutes that Kira can start to get his army into the place that he wants it to be at. The issue is, soon an onslaught is going to be coming here to the Terran base. Classic, once he saturates this 5th base, especially with a high-yield Vespian gas powering more Archons, Classic is going to have a massive economy. He's even taking the other base with another high-yield Vespian gas. And this is the way the Protoss plays PvT in the mid-game.
Yeah.
It's usually less tech-focused units. It's all about raw power and trading units out, such as Zealots, such as Archons. And the problem for Akira is going to be, how do I actually defend this efficiently enough that I still have a chance in the game? Because it'll be difficult no matter what happens. But the trades need to be good enough for Terran that they can transition into a late game and try and convert it into a win.
Yeah, and notice he takes the 2 bases that are kind of close, because not only are they both expansions, but they can be launching pads for counterattacks. So you can basically seesaw what you're doing on the map. Now, I think Kira is the best in the world at this, literally, this type of game. But it doesn't mean he's going to win this here now.
Yeah, and Classic's playing this really well, especially using the high-yield Vespian gases to make sure that he gets Archons added in, and now attacking it before the Planetary Fortress is done. Classic, are you going to commit onto this? The angle is really hard for the Zealots to find. There are enough Vikings here to 2 or 3 shot these Colossi. In fact, both of them are going to fall. Oh, that one's so low on HP finally does get cleaned up. Blink forward by the Stalkers, but you just see the efficiency of Kira's army. He is powering through.
He's going to continue to stutter step micro here. It's only 3 medevacs, so the stims are pretty permanent as far as the damage dealt. He has a Warp Prism gliding through the main here. He'll probably have to park that in the top left corner. More Warpins are going to come. This tug of war over here could go back to where this command center is, soon to be a planetary.
It's only 3 medevacs for Cure, and that has been a couple of sims there on the front lines. The Bio's solo on HP. The Classic can actually just warp in and push in one more time. The Archon actually doing huge damage with a splash on all this red Bio. When you see Archons get this much done, GG is called. Classic's going to take game number 1.
That was crazy. Well done by Classic, man. He played really, really well. And, you know, the reality is, like, Cure really didn't do that much early on in that game. You know, he tried to have that push that came in, and Classic just stayed super patient. He had an attack from 3 different angles to hit that. He took out the tanks. He barely had enough Stalkers, but Stalkers, you know, you can really appreciate how garbage Marines are without stim combat shields or medevacs when you watch them fight Stalkers, because that 1 extra range a Stalker has, over time, you will just always be able to beat Marines. And so he cleaned that up. And look, it wasn't like Cure pulled 18 SCVs like we saw earlier today. but he still wasn't in a position where he could do that much damage. And from there, Classic just had that mammoth economy. The ability to basically fund an endless war on the map. And eventually he was able to flood that position with a good engage. He got in there, he got the kill, and now Classic's up 1-0.
You know, the first part of that engagement at Cure's Planetary Fortress went so well for Cure. I wonder if Cure should have just pulled back after cleaning up the Colossus, after winning the first skirmish. A lot of Zealots and Stalkers also were mopped up there by Terran. But instead, it was kind of this protracted, long engagement between the two of them, where Cure had to keep stimming to be able to engage with the Protoss. But with only 3 medevacs there on the front line, the healing just was nowhere to be found. So Classic was able to effectively win a war of attrition down to the 9 o'clock expansion. And just some food for thought. I do wonder if Cure would have been able to stabilize had he been able to pull back and maybe cycle out a couple more medevacs from starports.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, any game, I know StarCraft's a deep and complex game, and we're going to learn new stuff about it every time we have, you know, a day like today. But, you know, this is a simple concept. It's if you're on 2 bases and you try to do something that ends the game and it doesn't work, the rest of the game's going to be hard. That's kind of a principle. That's a law in the game, you know. If you're, you know, we see it when it's like, oh, he's going to do like this kind of like 2-base adept crazy play, or, you know, any of these big timing attacks that come in. You'll see it, you know, when Zerg's, you know, theirs is not always 2-base, but they try to do something that's going to be really pronounced and end the game right away, and it doesn't work. Well, now the guy that defended probably was teching, probably was, you know, making a couple extra workers, but not too many, and now they can get into a good spot. Now, I don't know that Terran should stop playing like this. In fact, this may be the way to do it. The fact that you have Cure and Clem and Maru, you know, not today, but, you know, we've seen Maru already this year. And they really seem to be eager to close the game out with the timing. The problem is that I just feel like the more games that we have of that from Terran, the more the answer gets crystallized for Protoss, you know? It always feels like, you know, some of these weird pushes are scary, but the more games you play, the more you're like, no. I cut workers here, or I just delay this tech, or I get my gateways earlier, you know, whatever it is, whatever the tech is, whatever the matchup is, and the buildings and the units and all that. It does seem like after a while it gets sorted. So let's see what happens this game.
Yeah, I don't want to be too deterministic about it because Cure is capable of really doing anything. But I feel like we're likely going to have another Siege Tank push coming out from him. It has just been really the winning strategy here for Cure. That's how he was able to take out Clem. He did it every single game, and it didn't really work there in game number 1 versus Classic, but there have been variants that got a lot more damage done so far here to date for Cure. So let's see what the choice is going to be. First, it will be a Cyclone coming out for the Terran player, just to stabilize here in the early game. And Classic once more just going into Blink here off of 1 gateway. Should Classic want to be a little bit greedy with this one, could throw down 1 more gateway and take the 3rd expansion. We have seen that before here on 10,000 feet.
So that Robo starts. Now the question is it more gateways or is it a Nexus right away? 2 Stalkers out here. Got to be careful when that Cyclone comes out, because now he can lock onto this, and as long as you dance correctly, he actually doesn't get the kill on that. But I guess it's all going to kind of equalize. You know, the only thing that's ever going to be permanent damage is going to be the damage Protoss takes on the hull of their units. And it's going to be that Nexus. So 2-gate, Robo, Blink, Nexus. Now, it did seem for a while like this wasn't working. And so Protoss has switched into 3-gateway, the Nexus later. Classic's back on this one. And it may be the right call.
And more Stalkers being warped in here for Classic. Blink nearly done, maybe 20 or 30 seconds away right now for our Protoss player. And Cure is angling to go for a drop here. Actually, it's not a drop, it's just a scouting medevac. sees the third base there from Classic, and with this, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, that's a smart move. It's risky, but if you don't have to drop, you can drop an extra mule. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it is a really smart move. I feel like Maru's the first player I really saw do this, but he still does it quite sparingly. It's a nice little addition here for Cure in the early game. Gets to see the third base timing, see the third base placement, confirms that Classic is expanding across the top side of the map. With one more barracks coming in and no second command center just yet, I think this has to be a push coming in from Cure. Possibly even with an SED pull.
Okay. Anything you can get, you'll take here. So he gets one probe kill. Terran's still powering up. Again, it's the same theme we've had all night tonight. Terrans are being more timing oriented than ever before. And it's that 5 gateway play. So, you know, he gets the Colossus tech. The Colossus is kind of the final piece, but he also is able to probably turn off probe production when the push comes and just warp in Zealots. And if you just have enough Zealots, the Zealots can swarm in the front, the Stalkers blink in and target the tank. And the idea is it basically just shuts the entire push down. He's going to lead with the Stalkers in the front. If you can snipe a tank, you'll take that. The Observer's here to spot.
You can even go to the main base if you want, or blink here into the natural expansion.
Oh, this is crazy.
Here's a little bit out of position, but there are a lot of units here in the main base, actually.
Wait, is this work?
Oh, hold on.
Wait, this is, okay. You know, it's, can you get the Observer? What a funny dance that was.
Yeah. Some of those Stalkers still struggling to get away from this, by the way. They're going to jab at this medevac. Stim still 5 seconds away. Makes it much harder for Kieran to actually chase these things down. So Kieran instead is going to beeline towards the third base here of Classic.
Okay. So he's not making workers anymore. It's just only produce, just get enough. He wants to force a siege, maybe snipe a Marauder if he can. Oh, he blinks in. He says this tank is a little bit exposed. Another big attack over here. The tank is just eating the brunt of the damage. It's not picked up. It is bled off. The question is, can Classic get back home with the rest of this and gear up for the final attack here from Cure?
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be a really good jump for Classic, but he traded out a lot of gateway units to pick off that one siege tank. And Cure behind this, he hasn't been transitioning into more tanks. It was just a couple of tanks produced, only 2 in total on the map. And besides that, it's been nonstop Marine Marauder with Viking. So Cure has tailored his build to look like a siege tank push that's going to be hitting early. But Cure is actually setting up for a pretty good mid-game timing here with bio, with upgrades, potentially with Vikings later on. And let's see how this double drop in the main base is going to do, because that is not Cure's full army there at the third base.
Yeah, he's going to recall, and this is going to be sacrificed. Now, he is going to kill 10 workers, a little bit more than that even. But, you know, I think Classic's happy to continue this game with a black eye and still have his 3 bases, still have his tech. Thermal Lance is about to be done. He's not traded a Colossus out or anything like that, which means when the Vikings, which are just now being produced, are finally going to be coming out in pairs, you know, he's got to move that. Oh my God, I feel like the, yeah, well that just got vaporized there. And this is a very clunky attack here from Classic, where he just sort of has all his stuff in the wrong spot. Now he's still going to be able to push forward here at the force fields, actually trapping a decent amount of what Terran has back there. The Viking is like not quite able to kill this off in time, and so that was quite a lot that was traded out. But the drop comes in over here. He's going to unpower this pylon. Never mind, there's going to be enough to come in here and fight this. And Cure's headed northbound here. Classic with a very, very small army. It's literally 15 supply in army. I think Cure is about to win this game.
That was such a good move there for Cure. I mean, the scan, he spots the Colossus, and Cure's army is in position that he can just jump on it. Classic was not expecting Terran to be there in the center of the map, and Cure just turned this game completely on its head right now. Classic struggling to muster any units to deal with this. The Robo and Gateway on the front lines, likely going to be empowered right here. In fact, yes, Cure will take that down. The Viking also snipes the Warp Prisms. I mean, Classic, he's trying to warp in some more units to deal with this. I think he might be able to push this army back, but the position is still so dire here for Protoss.
This should be over. Robo's unpowered, so we're not even going to have a Colossus come out here. I got to say, Classic is putting up a hell of a fight.
I mean, this is basically everything the Classic has is the army that you see on screen, whereas Cure, there's units that are streaming across the map non-stop. More SCVs than we have probes here.
That was the right move to land the Vikings. Like, at this point in time, you're not even going to be fighting anything in the air. Classic just trying, you know, his damnedest to stay alive. Again, these are empty, energy-less medevacs. But you can see as the reinforcements slowly pile up, this death ball, this little tiny death ball, but it is a little death ball, is going to slowly win this fight.
I mean, Classic's going to keep holding on. I think he wants to hold on at least until the Dark Shrine is done. Is kind of the Hail Mary play here for Protoss, trying to get some more damage done. But these engagements, they keep getting more and more in Kira's favor. So Kira's going to take game number 2. GG is called, and we are all tied up 1-1.
I think that all came down to losing that Colossus in the middle of the map. And it seemed like there was something going on. You know, when you have an army that's kind of making this big snake-like shape on the map, sometimes when you need to retreat and click somewhere, it's really hard to know how to pull it in the right spot. The Colossus actually went down and then up and then down. Because, you know, the Colossus, it turns. It's like a Warcraft 3 hero. Like, in that regard, you can kind of like tell where it's thinking about going. So I don't know where he was clicking, if it was on the mini-map or somewhere else, but it kind of skirted. It like did like a little jiggle in the middle there. I don't know if he would have saved it anyways, but this is why you need to be careful to like not right-click all the way across the map in certain moments, because some units are faster and slower than others, right? That's where you have like this one unit, which is basically your whole ground army is kind of there to like protect the Colossus. And the Colossus is just going to kind of sand down that bio ball, and eventually you win.
Well, Kira with a catch of a lifetime, just pouncing on that army, taking out the Colossus, and then the follow-up fight was able to turn the game on its head, and now we're going to map number 3 between Classic and Kira. Classic spawning here in the bottom right is the blue Protoss, Kira the red Terran in the top left. The winner of this map on Ruby Rock is going on to the offline finals, to the round of 4 in the GSL Code S. The loser is out of this season.
Yeah, it's going to be... I think this is a tough one to call. I don't think anybody has the answer here. These guys are very evenly matched. This matchup, by the way, it's funny. I kind of imagine that if it was like, okay, Terran's two-basing every game with a super late third, one side would always be winning, right? But it seems like it's actually pretty fair. Some games Terran take, some games Protoss takes. It's making for one of the most complicated, most interesting mid-games in SC2, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a very fun dynamic in StarCraft 2 PvT, where in the early game, there are just all these different options that Terran has to try and throw the Protoss player to disrupt their system. And Protoss has to deal with everything reasonably well, otherwise they just kind of hobble into the mid-game. But there also is the threat of Protoss, you know, if they are basically impervious in the early game, if they're able to parry everything that Terran throws at them, if they're able to take their third and their fourth base safely and saturate everything up, and defend whatever the first push is that Terran goes for, well, then suddenly Protoss is a beast that is basically out of control. They are unleashed on the map. They take expansions at really an incredible rate. And they often grow to be too big to fail unless Terran takes just the perfect dream engagement. So there's a lot at stake, both on the Protoss side and on the Terran side at different stages of the game, and it makes for a very interesting dynamic and back and forth.
I don't even know who I want to have advance. Maybe Cure, just because we already had a Protoss move on.
Yeah, gotta opt for diversity, especially with Cure being in such good form recently. You know, I want to see what he could do in another round of 4 offline finals.
Yeah, I mean, Cure has been so strong, but I feel like hasn't quite really secured the results. Obviously, he did win a GSL before, but I mean, you know, he's always so good. He's always like top 4. But never the guy that's, you know, holding the trophy compared to, you know, the likes of Maru or Rogue or even players like Hero now.
It does feel that way for Cure, and I've always wanted him to have his moment in the sun, because he has just been quietly the second best Terran player in Korea, basically undisputedly for maybe a decade plus. You know, there are moments where, say, Gumiho is peaking in one specific GSL season where he's better, but over any considerable period of time, You take any 6-month chunk out of any year between now and I don't even know how many years back. And Akira is the best or the second best Terran player in Korea. That's just the way that it is. But, you know, Maru has just had such an iron grip on the GSL Code S that it's really hard for anybody to rack up the trophies.
Okay, the Reapers are going to come in here. And, you know, let's see what kind of kills he can get here. There is a battery, which makes it a lot harder to get anything off here.
I think you mostly want to try and juke away from the Adepts here with these Reapers. They're not going to find any damage.
I think he's going to get one kill on a Reaper. Yeah, he kills one off. The other one's going to get out. Now, the Hellions are going to come over here. And can he actually get that? Okay. Oh, I love the one probe sent in over here. 2 workers killed. But right now, Terran is actually hemorrhaging quite a bit. You just have to not lose too many more probes. Nice block. Oh, that was sick.
That's a huge defense here for Classic. I mean, this is basically picture perfect.
Yeah.
Usually when these Reaper Hellion builds come out, they're going to get like 5+ probes. I mean, that was just a perfect defense by Classic, more or less. Even going down to the single probe pulls there at the natural expansion just to disrupt the pathing of Terran. And Cure, let me tell you, he was planning to get a lot more done for that early build. Now the pressure is off Classic. There are some things that Cure could throw his way, like a Widow Mine drop, but Classic, he spots it immediately. And the Stalkers, they're roaming in the middle of the map. This won't kill the medevac, but it will get it very low on HP.
Already having it at half health here when you're halfway across the map is pretty big. He's going to just do a run-in with the Widow Mine. This is risky. You can see right now, oh, just use the probes.
Classic doesn't see. The Adepts are just auto-attacking it because...
Oh, that's sick. You're right. I was like so confused by that. I'm like, what is he doing?
The Adepts still cleaned it up.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he sees this Widow Mine over here.
What? Does he think? I think he thinks he killed it. Because he saw it earlier on. He was dealing with this.
Well,
you must. Oh, it's still in the vision. But you know, if you have your screen hockey set up and you're looking at the main nexus, you will not see them. You will see just above this. Okay, finally, Classic
he's
notices.
gonna go over there.
Classic giving us a little bit of drama with that Widow Mine.
Yeah, well, you can see that, like, you know, when the game's chaotic enough, sometimes you think, okay, like, did my did my army figure this out for me? And we got to recalibrate. We got to get back into the game. More gates are going to come down here as we have the third base. Much later third base, by the way.
Yeah, later third base, and also no Colossus tech here for Classic.
Templar Archives here. Is he going to go for Storm? Yeah. So, we had an iteration of this build that he did in RSL last year, which was like Storm started before the third base, like the latest Storm. This is, I think, basically around the same thing. This has been a crazy early game, so I think he's kind of getting everything out later. But I think it's basically the same build.
Yeah, and I guess because Cure went for so much early harassment with a Widow Mine drop, with a Reaper Hellion play, Classic knows that he's safe for at least a couple more minutes. Stim's not going to be done. Combat Shield, +1 infantry weapons. These things could not really be faster here for Cure if Cure continued to macro up an army, and Classic knows this. And so, unlike the usual rush of trying to get one Colossus out without Thermal Lance to hold the push, Classic has the time to start warping in Templar, to start gathering energy, to fully research Storm. So Classic's going to be in a uniquely good position here versus Cure, especially if Cure doesn't catch wind of Classic going into the Storm tech, because if Classic can get the jump on the Terran army with a couple of Storms, either in a Warp Prism or, say, at the top of a ramp, that could just be game-ending for Cure, given how the early game went.
Okay, so we're getting the jabs in here from Cure. Cure is going to go all the way around the top in a wrap. And he's landing his third base, so this is not the kind of two-base powering that we were talking about. There was no push that was intended to kind of end the game. It was instead really intense harass with a third base, probably with a push inbound here in the future. Now Terran's going to come down here, and he is going to, okay, he actually only gets one Templar, kills 10 probes. God, that was fast. He's going to pull back out before Classic's even able to engage with the army, so he's in and out.
Warp Prism with 2 Templar and a Zealot, not going to be trying to feed back or storm those medevacs because they're already pretty low on energy. Instead, just going up here to the top side. Oh, Cure just looked over here to catch the Raven, but I'm not sure he saw the Warp Prism. Okay, now Cure sees it, pulling all the SCVs! Oh, the Storms come down. Oh, that's so many SCVs that fall. 11 SCVs in total. and a feedback, and he's going to recall the Archon.
That was sick. And here's the thing. Those SCVs, I don't think they're going to be healed. I mean, if you want to take a medevac and sit him over there, you can, but you're not going to be able to heal your army. So, like, if he does a drop again, or just warps in Zealots later on, everything's going to get melted.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be a target on Kira's back, all those SCVs in the main base. But the way that Kira is navigating his army composition really impresses me. He already has Ghosts out to deal with these potential Templar, and the fact that Classic is relying primarily on Templar as the damage, and only just now adding in Colossus means that if there's any engagements coming on here in the next couple of minutes, should Kira get the EMPs that he needs, his army will be favored. The thing is, if we get 2 Colossus and Thermal Lance out on the field for Classic, the map does change a lot, so I think the window is now here for Kira.
Okay. This is what I was talking about, that Warp Prism going to come in. Even just 2 Zealots are going to kill all the SCVs. I think that Kira was maybe not following that carefully. SCVs have been evacuated in the main, by the way. Another crazy storm. Jesus.
That's like max damage and all of that bio.
16 SCVs have been killed.
I think what happened, we didn't catch wind of it, but Classic had those 2 Templar in the Warp Prism. He did not reveal them until the SCVs came back to the mineral line and then just stormed absolutely everything.
Oh my god, the Archon gets fished in.
Oh, there's no energy on this army. No Thermal Lance done just yet. Kira's on the hunt right now. He might have lost 16 SCVs, but he's about to have a big win on Protoss' side of the map.
Yeah, Kira has the damage here. And he could even push into where the Robo is. He could shut down the Colossus tech. And I think there's 2 Robos in the game, so there's another Robo somewhere. I don't know where. I see that one on the right side. Oh, I'm sorry, they're right next to each other.
Oh no! Oh, that's a nightmare spawn for Classic. One of the Colossi just immediately rallies to its death, and now Classic is trying to set up a flank with these Zealots, but the army of Kira is so huge. It's low on HP, but this is a lot of bio on the front lines. Storm is available in the Warp Prism here for Classic. I think those Storms are going to be critical to Classic actually holding on to this push. He's already lost a base. He cannot lose more.
Yeah, he's going to try to come down here. Again, there's basically no heal here. Some nice Storms on that. Is that enough to wipe it?
Oh, the bio, it's so low on HP. Even the Zealots getting in and getting a couple of volleys off on this unit will be enough to clean it up. So Curie's going to boost away, but that means that Classic can pick off one of the full medevacs, a couple of those Vikings. Overall, it seems like a pretty even trade. Classic did lose the 4th base, so it's 3 base versus 3 bases, but the counterpunch from Classic could be huge.
Yeah, the fact that we had all those SCVs killed earlier with the Storm drop and the Warp in is big, right? This is not like it was an untouched Terran. This is a beat-up Terran. And now, I mean, is there counterplay here? The thing is, Classic, he's like a fungus on the map. I mean, he just grows back in and expands, and it almost, kind of erases all the hard work that Kira did. The push is going to move in a little bit further here.
No Warp Prism with the army is so concerning for me.
Yeah, he's going to go for a wedge in between the 3rd base and the 2nd base. And I think he might split Terran in half here.
Yeah, but the potential for EMP is so huge right now. We have 9 Ghosts on the map. There's no Warp Prism.
Yeah, there is no Warp Prism.
Safe. And Kira with his Widowmine cleverly placed is going to catch wind of this immediately. I think Classic cannot engage.
I think he's too desperate. I don't think he should have done that at all. I didn't even realize there wasn't a Warp Prism there. Meanwhile, we have like Warp Prism speed being upgraded. Is there a Warp Prism in this game?
He needs to rebuild one.
Maybe there's one in the... No, yeah, there's none. Okay. Well, that's not good.
And now it's starting up.
Yeah. The idea that you're getting the upgrade for that without getting the unit is bad.
Well, luckily for Classic, both of them should be finishing right around the same time. So Warp Prisms with speed. Although, again, you have the issue of 7 Vikings being on the field because Kira is trying to formulate an answer to the Colossus part of Classic composition. If you're not careful here, that's Classic. Even a Speed Prism, it takes the same number of shots from the Vikings to take that off the map.
Okay, he's going to try to move in here. on the left side again. Again, the Warp Prism should be inbound now. I think I see it on the mini-map. Can he do it, though? Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be a drop.
I thought it was this Archon.
Yeah. That's
I was like, this Warp Prism is moving so slow.
Yeah, that's literally what I thought. I was like, well, it's kind of moving weird. So he's going to go into the main. Now, Terran's going to be in for a surprise because he's going to expand into the push. So he's got to immediately pull that back. Note how the Templars are kind of spread out. All right, so this is shut down.
Well done by Curtis having a group of Marines there ready to stem.
Now, Terran can just go to 12 o'clock. You don't have to expand here. EMP hits, I want to say, like 80% of everything Protoss has there. Sometimes the Templar's coming up from the side. Sometimes that's all you need.
Oh, Curie is microing his way back into a corner right now. The storms are really dangerous. EMPs have to be clutch on these Templar. Curie's trying to get out of it. One EMP catches the Templar there on the right side. The other EMP catches the last Templar with energy to storm. And now Cure simming forward is going to clean up this army.
That was insane. He EMP'd like perfectly 6 times in a row. Every single Templar was shut down. The counter push, this is going to be really hard to hold. Protoss is in a lot of hot water right now. They basically just have Stalkers and Zealots. We know that's kind of what they're going for a lot of the time. Now he might not even have that many Zealots. He's going to go all the way back to the heart of where Protoss is at.
There's only 2 Templar left, and the Templar that gets energy recharge is immediately EMP'd. No storms available for Classic. 1,000 minerals in the bank. What are you going to do with that to try and deal with this army? One round of Zealots? I mean, the army of Cure is so massive right now. One Colossus is going to pop up. That Templar very low on energy for his storm, but another EMP catches it. The EMPs have been unbelievable.
Yeah, he is continuing to chase this down. And I think we may be at the end of this game here. I think that Classic's basically been defeated here. He failed with the storms there. Cure's counterattack is going right now into the heart of the infrastructure at the natural where the double robo is. And I think he's going to be moving on. He's going to unpower this pylon. Still a couple more pylons to take out. He goes for the robos instead, realizing that didn't unpower anything. Now the forges, also not unpowered, but he'll still go for all the pylons nonetheless.
One more storm by Classic is a whiff, just not able to connect onto the bio. And I think really Classic is just digesting the loss right now. It is 6 Zealots, 3 Stalkers, and 1 Archon. Here for Protoss.
Great game, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Cure just playing this so well. Classic with 2 more mining bases. He's gonna try and get enough on the map, but if he could see what we could see, he would be tapping out right now because Cure is in such a commanding position.
Yeah, literally maxed out right now while he's pushing through here. Classic sub 100 supply. And yeah, you can see the pain on Classic's face. He realizes this is it. He's out. Cure, the slayer of all Protosses, is going to be advancing now into the round of 4 here, playing in the offline match.
Well, Cure going to push up into the main base.
We're just going to keep casting this until all the Protoss' buildings are destroyed,
yeah,
guys.
You have to take out every single
building.
building.
You know how to lose conditions. He says, all right, you beat me. Now you get to destroy my base. Did anybody ever do that to you like the first week the game's out? You're like, that's okay.
So somebody did that to me yesterday. Oh, I mean, the pros are getting cold right now. That's it. GG. Cure going to advance.
Got to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Got to be feeling good about that.
Oh, it's a frustrating loss there for Classic. I think it's one of the reasons why it just took him so long to digest that loss there. But Cure honestly played that so phenomenally well. I mean, the crisis management, the control, the EMPs especially were some of the best EMPs I've seen all year. I mean, he never missed.
That was sick.
He hit everything.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think that Classic had to try to end the game there. He basically wanted to get him cornered and then just melt everything. And had he gotten maybe 2 Psy Storms off, plus what the damage he was already doing, he might have actually won that game, but he didn't. And then there is no escape plan. You're too deep with an army that can't run away, and you don't have the ability to regenerate your tech, right? You lose the Colossus, you're gone. You lose the Warp Prism, you're gone. Templars are not going to have energy fast enough to supplement the attack, to supplement what you don't have, I should say. And yeah, it's just Zealot Stalker. Not enough.
That must have been a suffocating feeling for Classic going for that fight where Terran's fourth base was going to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have an interview ready. Let's hear from our winner. All right, Kira, congratulations on your victory. You were the last to survive today. Now, you were able to take down Clem's Protoss and Classic's Protoss, but you lost to Hero. How do you feel about your TVP right now? Do you think you can take Hero down in the offline finals?
일단 김덕 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 일단 토스전을 다 치르시면서 이렇게 진출하게 되셨는데 일단 클렘 선수의 토스와 이제 김도 선수의 토스를 상대로는 승리를 하셨지만 이제 김준호 선수의 토스를 상대로는 좀 아쉽게 이제 패배를 하셨습니다. 그래서 다음에 이제 오프라인 파이널 무대에서는 김준호 선수의 프로토스 상대로 좀 이길 수 있을 것 같은지 좀 대체적인 좀 태프전 좀 실력에 대해서 평가를 좀 해주시죠.
아무래도 준호 형이랑 하면 누구나 다 알겠지만 좀 수비하면서 해야 되는데 저도 토스전을 하게 되면 못 참는 성격이어서 일단 빌드 준비한 대로 하다가 또 이번에도 좀 허무하게 져버린 것 같아서 좀 많이 아쉬운데 다음에 만나게 된다면 좀 운영도 할 수 있게끔 기본기 위주로 최대한 준비하면 좋을 것 같아요.
Yeah, so unlike any other Protoss, facing Hero, you need to be defensive. You know it. But that being said, I was so focused on myself and my build, and sometimes I get so emotional sometimes, so I get carried away on my emotions. So I think that went way offline, way off there. So in later games, when I face if I face Hero in later matches, then I'll have to fix on those issues.
Congratulations on advancing today. What are your expectations going into the round of 4? Can you win this season at GSL?
지난 시즌 이제 4강에서 좀 아쉽게 머무르셨지만 이번 시즌에는 좀 우승을 할 수 있으실 것 같은지 궁금합니다.
일단 최근에 최대한 연습량을 끌어올리면서 폼을 올리고 있고 저번 시즌에는 제가 생각해도 조금 부족했다고 생각을 하는데 이번 시즌은 최근에 좀 실력이 올라오고 있는 것 같아서 이번 시즌은 결승 이상 꼭 가도록 하겠습니다.
Yeah, last season, I think I was a little off, honestly. So I practiced a lot to get in my best shape, best form this season. So I'll try my best to win the trophy this time.
Okay, best of luck and thank you for the interview.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. Sadly, Clem is out. Another foreigner unable to go.
Right now?
I think so.
It'll be a very fun group to watch. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. KST for that.
Guys, come to our semifinals. It was so good to see all of you who were able to make it down there in person. There's not that many offline events for StarCraft 2. So the information for reserving the tickets is all there. You can see the price. You can see get to 4 tickets per person. The link is all there. It's 15,000 won. That's like $10 US. It is going to be next month on Sunday. And yeah, I just look forward to seeing you guys there. We're going to be on tomorrow, of course, casting Group B. So the finals day is the semifinals and the finals.
Yeah, it's a lot of StarCraft. You get 2 best-of-5s and a best-of-7, and already the lineup's looking really good. I mean, Hero and Kira advancing from today, and tomorrow we're going to add in 2 more players. Really, if anybody advances from Group B tomorrow, they're going to be wonderful additions into the round of 4. And if you want to support the GSL, if you're enjoying the show and you are in position to contribute, we invite you to join us on patreon.com/GSL, or you can subscribe directly on SOOPlive.com. Both of these go directly to the crowdfunding goals. It doesn't matter where you decide to give your pledge. Yeah. And there are a lot of perks available.
Yeah, so definitely sign up. If we get to 10K, with the combined SOOP and Patreon goals, there will be a Season 3. And we were close. But how close are we now? How many squares in the GSL health bar do we have? Are we at our super meter yet?
We almost had eight squares full. It was pretty close, Tasteless.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to see it this time. We might have to wait until
it gets
tomorrow.
updated at the end of the day.
I might have to tally it. Here's what the schedule is looking like, by the way, guys. So, as you guys can see, we are going to be back tomorrow. The RSL Finals week is also happening Saturday, Sunday. That starts earlier, 4 p.m. Those are going to be longer broadcast days. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be so sick.
And then, of course, the GSL Finals back on the 7th of June, 5 p.m. KST for that one. So also an earlier start time.
Tickets go on sale on the 1st, so don't get this mixed up. Occasionally we get people that get the dates mixed up. They glance at that, they write it down wrong. Ticket sales go live Monday. The finals itself is actually not this weekend, but next weekend.
And again, you really want to get those tickets immediately. Like, make sure you're ready to F5 that page and pick them up.
You need to be ready to snipe those.
They sell out near instantly, and if you miss your chance, we literally cannot get you in. We are next to the police station and the fire department.
Yes.
They are actually the neighboring buildings, so no shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been another great day at GSL. Kind of nice to have a deep dive into TVP.
Yeah.
Fascinating to see that, like, the matchup seems to have really morphed into something where there's a lot of different ways to play. We're seeing Terrans win in late game, in kind of the turtling exhaust style of play. We're seeing Terran wins with these timing pushes. Protoss, by the way, a lot of variance. There was a lot of doomers last year about this whole matchup. But I got to say, you look at the games today, don't tell me this isn't an interesting matchup.
Yeah, these are some spectacular matches played, really from everybody.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that, Tasteless.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
No, it's cool because I think coming into today, most of the GSL games that we've gotten, they've either been like in PvT, it's like the Terran either wins really fast or they win at the end of the game. But we actually had a lot of Terrans win in the mid game.
Yes.
Especially Kira. I mean, he was just absolutely popping off.
It's just interesting to see that the matchup is very dynamic. There's a lot of different approaches that are working, and it's not as one-dimensional or as formulaic as we had seen before.
Yeah.
Do they tell us?
Show?
Do they tell us to close the show? Or all right, we can close now. We were waiting for that.
I was waiting for the lower third, man.
I know. I thought we had something at the bottom of the screen, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow. We love you. Bye-bye.
Incoming transmission.